Hi there, welcome back. I'm very pleased to be bringing you this. This is the Fallout Factions Nuka World starter set. So there are two rival gangs in here. Been really looking forward to this. Now I'll be totally upfront and let you know that this has been sent to me by Modifius Entertainment for review purposes, and we'll be doing a review in the next week or so after we get a few games under my belt. But I've been massively looking forward to this ever since it was announced, so much so that I've bought other supporting content. So there's two gangs in here. There's a very similar gang that is also available, the Disciples. So I got that to support with this, and all of the models from the Hollywood Heroes set for Fallout. Fallout Wasteland Warfare are compatible as well. You can swap them in and out with some of your other parts of your gang. But today we're focusing on this box. We'll have a look, see what's in it. So, I'll turn around and have a look at the back. We do have our two gangs, the Operators and the Pack. There's lots of stuff about it. A nice image here of all the stuff we get in the box, but we're not going to go through that now. We're just going to dig straight in. So, I'm a big sort of fan of the Fallout games over the years. I was a big fan of the TV show that was on a few months ago. And yeah, very much been looking forward to this. So I'm very glad this has come along. So we've got in here a rule book. Let's put this to one side and have a look in a minute. We have a game mat. Game mat one side, poster the other. That looks to be probably 3x2, but it is just a kind of paper mat. But it looks quite nice. Let's have a quick look on the other side. Wow. Enjoy the ride, Nuka World. Very cool. We have a crew roster. I've already downloaded this from the website. It's nice to get a couple of paper copies, one for each of the gangs. We have lots of tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sheets of tokens. It's nicely packed actually. A separator contains all of our tokens and paper stock from our miniature sprues. So these will be our two rival gangs. Not much you can glean from sprues really. I'm not one to look at models on the sprue for an extended period of time because you can't really make anything out from them. But I will build some. I'll have a separate video for some building maybe. Got a whole load of bases. They're all 28mm. It's just, oh nice. A little tape measure. Very good. It is interesting that it's nice and branded, the Fallout, but other than that, it is simply just a standard. It's got inches and centimeters on there, blah blah blah, sort of thing you'd get out of a cracker or something like that. But it's nice though, nice branding and that kind of stuff. Cool. And what's this? 2 sets of dice. So we get 4 of these dice, 4 of these kind of turquoise blue, and 8 red. Let's have a good look at them. So they all appear to be D10s, are they? 1, 2. Yeah, D10s. Let's roll a few, see if they're any good. That one's 0. Is it 0 or is it 10? I think it's 10. Crap. Middling. Excellent. What have we got on here? Is it a bottle cap, I believe? Pretty cool. Yeah, so nice looking dice. Pretty cool. So that's everything we get in the box. Let's just take this tray out, see if there's anything underneath. No, nothing else. Right, so let's have a brief look at the rule book. Right, so starter set rule book. Quite well put together. Lots of contents, really. 3 pages of contents. So that's cool. Is there an index? There is not, but there's more roster pages. So we get an introduction into the game here, taking us through, I'm assuming, what Nuka World is. So Nuka World was a expansion from Fallout 4, quite a big expansion, and it was predominantly the most interesting thing in that expansion was the different sets of gangs that operated within, and those were the Disciples, the Pack, and the Operators. We get the Pack and the Operators in this set. Layout of the board. Have a nuke, nice. General stuff about wargaming in general, contents and that kind of thing. Park rules, the building blocks. Rule 1, be a good sport. Very important in any wargaming. Rule 2, use your noggin. And rule 3, no cheating. So again, like, you know, this is a brand new skirmish game. And it's kind of always important to remember that whenever I play a new skirmish game, I don't like it very much when I first start. And then when I get 3, 4, 5 games in, you kind of generally you dispel all the problems you had at the start. So be interesting going through the rules here and that kind of thing, and working out how we can get started and get streamlined with the rules as quick as possible. I'll probably do a how to play video on this later on as well, but let me know in the comments if that's something you're after. Let's talk about the battlefield and terrain features and that kind of thing. Major terrain like building shacks and buses, and minor terrains like benches, map signs, walls and barricades, graves, crates and barrels. A bit about our crew and how it's made up. Each player has a crew roster which is made up of 2 sheets. The game sheet acts as a quick reference during play and records all the information about the models in a player's crew. The story sheet tracks the crew's progress between games. It's fully explained in chapter 4, telling a story. So I like this. I think it's all nicely laid out. We've got our special profile. So various parts of the game, for anyone who's played Fallout Wasteland Warfare, you'll have to, you'll get benefits or have to roll on certain abilities and that kind of thing. So you might have to do something with your strength, which is S, P, perception, E, endurance, C, charisma, I, intelligence, A, agility, or L, luck. And I believe the turquoise dice we looked at a minute ago are your luck dice. I think that's what they are. Special tests. Sometimes the rules show an X in parenthesis after a test name, such as make an attack test X. This means that the pool size and test statistics are variable, and the rules explain it. So that X I'm assuming will either mean the number you have to roll or the number of dice you have to roll. And it's gives an example here as well. Okay, so the rules tell him to make an attack test 4S for Carve. Carve is the name of the guy. This means the pool size is 4 dice. So 4S, 4 dice, and the test will use Carve's strength of 5. So Carve has got a natural strength of 5, and because it's attack test 4S, that's 4 strength dice, and he has to get over 5. So very cool. This is really cool. I can't wait to get started with this, to be honest. Visibility, fatigue and exhaustion. I assume that's as you lose health and get injured and that kind of thing. Yeah, very cool. I wonder if we will move into our individual gangs stats later on. It's about creating a crew, choose your faction, recruit models, blah, blah, blah. Back to those roster sheets again. Yeah, I'm very much liking how all this is laid out. Appendix 1, scenarios. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different scenarios, including the standard one, which is for skirmish, I assume. And it shows you how to set up for that. But look, yeah, skirmish. Set up within 15-inch dome of each corner. Stockpile raid, a 6-inch dome of each corner for the red team, and then an 8-inch radius dome for the blue team. Scenario 3, retrieval run. Okay, that's quite interesting. Very, very strange way of setting up. So 4-inch of that side, you've got the attackers. 6-inch of this side, the defenders. You've got the objectives in the next 6-inch area. And then you've got just the gameplay general stuff. So I'm assuming the defender's going to have to look after this area within this side of the board. The attacker's going to have to move over. That objective is probably where you put objective tokens, I assume. We'll have a look at all of the tokens in a minute. Land grab. Defender looks, they can deploy in the entire half of their area. Attackers in that 12-inch dome there. Wow. Very cool. I'm really liking this. Looks like a lot of fun. I wonder how long a game takes. I think I saw a gameplay video. It took about an hour and a half or so, but I think they were teaching a lot of the game at the same time. So it will be interesting to see. Right, so this is all of the stats and that kind of thing for our warbands. So the pack, it's got the pack's weapons, all their various details to do with their different classes. So we've got alphas, top dogs, psychos, scavers, wasters, and wasters. It has crew limits. The crew's tier imposes a number of limits on it. It's explained in the rules for creating a custom crew on page 31. Let's have a quick look at that because I'm interested in that. Before starting to choose models, read the crew creation section of your faction list. So you get 1 leader. There's a champion limit. You cannot have more champions than the champion limit, grunt limit, and rating limit. So let's see if we can work this out. So here's the crew limits for the pack. Tiers 1, 2, and 3. I'm not sure what that means, but tier 1, okay. So champion limit, I'm assuming, does that mean you can have 3 champions? So you've got an alpha, which is a leader, a top dog. Not sure. I'm going to have to dig right into this and work it all out. But certainly, you depending on how your roster's put together, there are various ways to do that. and I believe they're different for every faction. So we've got our 2 gangs in this box and the one I showed you earlier, the Disciples, but there are rules you can download on the Modiphius website, and I'll put a link on in the description you can go to. But there are things like there's lists for super mutants. I think there is some for the Brotherhood of Steel. There's I think at least 3 or 4 there that you might want to go and look at. But this is all looking great, to be honest with you. And then you've got the operators here. So again, it's got its own crew limit, and I think it's probably going to be the same as the pack, because I think these are very balanced, these gangs. So crew limits, tier 1 353, which is the same. Tier 2 5104, yes, yeah, they're all identical. But this is all really interesting, because these sprues that are in this box, they are basically sprues that have already come from the Wasteland Warfare box, and so it's probably going to be more important for you to get to understand how you're putting those models together for what weapons you want to have and that kind of thing, than it would be in Wasteland Warfare, because your weapons and the different types or the different parts you use will determine if it is a boss, a made man, so in the case of the operators, a boss, a made man, a psycho, a scaver, or a waster. But yeah, very, very cool. Oh, and it's got the details for the Disciples here. That's the box that isn't in this set. It doesn't have anything else. Okay, Appendix 3, Weapons in the Wasteland. So it goes through, these are the handheld weapons or the melee weapons, and it's got their various stats and that kind of thing, which is cool. Same for revolvers and rifles. Sorry, pistols and rifles, and heavy weapons and grenades. They're very cool. And then Appendix 4, it does have a reference. So there's lots of keywords and that kind of thing, and it gives an explanation of them there. Also has perks and chems. I think I saw some chem tokens in the box. But we'll look through the tokens in a minute. But yeah, I have to say I'm really excited about this. It looks great. So let's grab a few of these and take a look at some tokens. I'll do a separate video actually for the terrain. It's kind of push fit terrain, so I'll do something separate for that. But let's have a look at some of the tokens we've got here. So we've got kind of 3 sheets of terrain, and then just 1 of all of the tokens. So let's have a look. I don't mind judging a game based on how good its tokens are, and I can tell that these ones are very, very thick. Very, very thick cardstock on these. Right, so those tokens, let me quickly work out what they are. So these are the ploy tokens. Let's put those to one side. We have these are the search and radiation tokens. So it is, yeah, it's like a lockbox on one side for you to search, and a radiation symbol on the other. Right, these are harm tokens. So the blue ones are for 3, the dark blue ones are for 4, the green ones are for 1, and the very light blue ones are for 2. So green 1, light blue T, green 1, light blue 2, a kind of regular blue for 3, and a navy blue for 4. And we get quite a lot of those. Now I can say that a lot of these are not coming out great. They're sort of, it looks like they're separating a bit, some of them. So that one's separated. There's another one there. So yeah, I'm being pretty I'm pushing these quite hard just to get them done. So yeah, maybe take a bit more care than I am of doing these, because you know you only have to pop them out once, and if you're too rough with them like I'm being, yeah, you don't want to. Once they're done, you know. Right, lots and lots of harm tokens. Next up, we have the weary and exhausted tokens. So the weary is the red side, and exhausted is the purple, it looks like. Right, so loads of those. We have an initiative token, so I'm assuming that players roll off for initiative, and whoever gets it gets that token for the round. What else do we have? These are for tracking the rounds. So in every game I've ever played of skirmish and war games, you've counted the rounds in numbers, but these are not. These are A to F, but they are cool. And then finally we have, oh sorry, those A to F, those are the objective tokens. A to F are objectives, and then the round tokens are these last ones here, these Nuka cola bottles. They pop out of here, but you don't get rid of this. You keep this. Yeah, you keep this. I don't know if you, as you complete the round, you maybe push it in on the empty side, something like that. What I would say though is look after this, because again, these tokens are fraying a little bit, even though they've only just been popped out. And yeah, if you're going to be regularly taking them in and out of here, make sure you look after them. It might even be worth just getting some very thin PVA glue and give everything a little coat around the edges and letting it dry thoroughly, just to help to protect it a little bit more. But yeah, so that's all the tokens, and they all look great, to be honest with you. Nice thick cardstock. Now, something I haven't noticed so far is any assembly instructions. I know that they are going to be available on the Modiphius website, so I guess we go there for that. Because yeah, I'd like to crack on and put together some of this stuff, because it all looks great, to be honest with you. So you can see some of the graves are on here, and you've got some punch board bases that they go on as well. I may proxy those with something a bit more, well, with something made of plastic, to be honest with you. But this stuff looks great. I don't know, only time will tell how durable it's going to be. I've got mixed opinions when it comes to punchboard terrain. There's a company, the name escapes me, but they do a lot of punchboard terrain sets, and I always think they're not going to last. They're going to fray and they're going to bend. But then I have a friend who uses a set of those on a regular basis, and I'm amazed at how well they're holding up. So, but I'll put this lot together in a separate video. I hope you come back and join me for that. And I'll leave it there. So just to say that I mean, at this early stage, I'm very excited for Fallout factions. And yeah, so with the Fallout, I've got now, let's think. So I've got the 2 warbands from this box, or the 2 gangs from this box. I've got the Disciples, which is separate. I've got the Hollywood Heroes, which isn't a gang by itself, but you can sub in and out some of the models from that as champions for your other gangs. And I did pick up from eBay a whole bunch of other Wasteland Warfare stuff, so I've got at least enough for a Super Mutants gang. I'm sure it won't be called a gang, but a Super Mutants warband, let's call it that. I've got some stuff from the Enclave as well, and that kind of thing. So yeah, very much looking forward to getting into it. But thanks for staying with me through that, much appreciated. Come back later for much more Fallout Factions goodness, and I'll try and get some how to play stuff and a playthrough up in the next month or so. But thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all later.